Hello again. Get yourself comfortable. I'm just refilling my water, all right? It's like you're living with me or I'm living with you. It's more intimate. All right? It's like we're doing this together. You're not just looking at me through a phone. Oh, I'm just pouring water into I wasn't lying to you. How's it going? You ever hear someone ask you how's it going and they don't even make eye contact and they're just waiting to speak? That's not me. Don't put that on me. How's it going? How are you? Okay. Enough silly games. This is a very serious word. Nothing beats water sometimes. A lot of times, for me. All right. As you see, I don't edit things. I just raw. All right. You're in it for the raw. You're in it for me. And this is the channel for you, because we take our time over here, and that's actually the kind of the point of the video. I feel like the Lord gave me the title. Okay. Don't let this beautiful specimen distract you. Look at him. Beautiful. Longest snout in the game. The Lord gave me the title, right? And the title is something alike. His grace sets the pace. It will be His grace that sets the pace. You are in your lane. You give your life to the Lord, and there is a pace, there is a rhythm that is most natural to you, that at first is probably going to feel slow because you're used to the pace of the world and how most people are running around trying to fix themselves, trying to be enough. And so there's this restlessness that seems to be like in the atmosphere that has people walking and running and sprinting at a certain pace, feeling like if I'm not productive today, then I'm not a whatever person. All right, Buffy, that's enough. That's enough. Okay, that's enough. Respect my space. No, I love that dog. But it is His grace that will set the pace for you. And the Lord seems to be one I'm discovering where we can feel like it's about the destination. He is about the journey. And I feel like we have the destination in mind because in our current environment, our circumstances, how we feel about ourselves, most of us believe, if we've not been illuminated, right, if the truth is not set in, if we've not received a deep revelation or understanding, most of us believe that we're lacking, that we are inadequate where we are. And this is the very thing that fuels, it seems, the restlessness that's in us to go and self-motivate and do all of these things. And there's lots of support in that area. But I feel like what the Lord is showing me is like when I build it, it will not come down. When I build it, you can rest in it. When you come to know of the pace and the rhythm that I flow with in your life, you will rely upon grace and not your own self-effort. And so therefore you will be liberated from a world relying upon self-effort. The issue is a perspective issue. This is why people are so restless. This is why people wake up and if they don't feel like they have like an idea of where they're going and like how to get there, they're like lost. Because they have made themselves the driver, right? Because in darkness, they have believed lack about themselves. These things that I say in my videos often. But this channel is about those that are going to take the scenic route, because this is the way God takes a person. He doesn't take you the shortcut kind of way because He knows that the actual richness in the soil will be found in the journey. And it will be a journey with the Lord. this is what will make your life rich. This is where the pace and the rhythm, and I'm not saying that it's like slow all the time. I believe that he is a God of acceleration. He will get you to places that you are not qualified to get to yourself, and he will create things and ways and do all these stuff. But there are seasons of your life that have certain paces, but may you find the Lord's grace at the pace that he has set for you in the season that you're in. So what is good? For God to straighten out your path, right? For you to know God, he helped me, right? He straightened out this path, right? He answered this prayer. That's good. That's a good thing. What is better? To know intimately the one who came, the one who was faithful on your behalf. To know him. I know the one who has straightened my path, and now I'm growing in the confidence of his faithfulness. And by growing in the confidence of his faithfulness, I am being liberated from a former way of looking to myself to live my life. Because it's no longer the faithfulness of me that drives me. It's the faithfulness of him. And I am growing in the confidence of his faithfulness in my life. Not just he straightened out my path and we have this kind of where God is like in the sky or something, like, thank you, God, you know, I did a foxhole prayer and you came through for me. That's fine as like the invitation into relationship. But he knows that's not going to be enough for you. Because for you to manage your life, even if you're able to manage it well, it's not very good. It's not very good. I'm telling you, it's not very good. But this seems to be the broad road, and that a lot of people will go down. And this is by my weakness, right? I didn't know these things until they were revealed to me, and I'm still coming to know these things. I was looking to me to live my life. I didn't know another way. That's where I have grace and compassion for the person that is in that, because you're kind of just tangled up in it. You're in darkness. You're in need of light. But your darkness has become your habitat, has been your habitat for the longest time, that you don't know it's dark. So you don't know that it's off. So you don't know it's crooked. Then you have God come in and actually straighten that out and he's like, I'm not just going to straighten this out. I want to show you my heart for you as the one who straightened these things out. I want to show you of my faithfulness in your life so that you can experience liberty. So you can experience freedom from relying upon yourself. His grace will set the pace. And I'm the test subject, okay? We'll see what happens. I'm noticing, I'm observing my own life take a certain shape. I know I made a video about this, I don't know, maybe like a couple of months ago, how like it takes time for a season to take a shape. I'm like observing my life and the season that I'm in. It seems to be a new season. I'm observing it take a shape, but it's slow. But as I'm looking to the Lord, I feel like it's not slow as in we need to hurry up, but it's slow as in gentle, because the last season that I was in took everything out of me. And I'm coming to know the one that's not only straightening my path and giving me a place to go, but one who has prepared me in getting there. One who has walked with me in stale waters, in the slow place, right? The one who was with me as I was lowered into a grave. You think you can just, you can be, I guess, resurrected instantaneously, right? But it may not look like that for you. It hasn't looked like that for me. Maybe there is a big moment or something, but it's kind of been this like when something gets turned over, it's like, it's for me, it's just like slow turning over. It's like pouring water. It's just like, and that's the pace that the Lord has me in. And I have people, or at least one person, looking at my life and telling me I should do it this way or I should do it that way. And I'm like, it's not about me doing it this way or that way, because grace has set the pace. And I didn't really have words for this until the Lord showed me, like, no, this is where your heart is now. Because this is what is good for you. So what is good for you? What is the pace that is good for you? It will take, I believe, unlearning and being uncomfortable for a while as you come away from the pace that was like most familiar to the world. The quick, get things quick. But the Lord seems to be about the journey, very meticulous, very detailed, this thought of everything, cares about your well-being, doesn't want you to just get to a place to have a title, but wants you to be the one who is confident and free and knows himself and knows the Lord when you are in that place. So he wants to prepare you to get there, because it's not really necessarily about getting there. It's even about when you're there, you look back and you say, he was faithful. Now I'm able to live so much richer. So much more abundantly I live because I grew in the knowledge of his faithfulness. Because when the world was looking to itself, when the people in darkness were looking to themselves to get to places, and it appeared like they were getting there quicker than me, it appears that they were getting there quicker than you. But the Lord said, no, that's not your lane. No, that's not what I have for you. That's not what I'm doing with you. But what I'm doing with you and for you, there's a certain rhythm to it. There's a certain pace in this season. And it's not like it can't change, but you go along with the Lord. You follow the Spirit. You are led by the Holy Spirit. And that is where the grace will be, to empower you to walk how you were made to walk. Don't knock humble beginnings. Don't despise small beginnings, friend. And if you are, that's fine. Go wrestle with God about it. It's fine. You'll end up probably, being like, oh shit, I just didn't know. I didn't know that I had it all. And what I was now hungry for in the lack place was deeper knowledge of his love for me, right? No longer chasing something. A lot of people, they have an image of what they think they're supposed to be, and they're trying to fit that image. There's a restlessness in people to try to fit that image, an expectation on other people, themselves. It's people in darkness. It's the blind leading the blind. I know of it well. I was in the mix. I was in the fold. I was in the revolving door that went nowhere. Oh, look, I'm in a new place. Oh, look, I'm in a new place. No, you're not. You're just in a revolving door going around and around. It's very humbling to find that I can't actually go anywhere. And I made another video about this. I got this from, I think it's a Smith song, or it's a lyric in a Smith song at least. Nowhere fast. A lot of people are going nowhere fast. Because I believe where it is to actually go, that is promotion, increase, moving on, so that you can have what you really want. Not just an image of it, not just a shadow of it, not just a glimpse of it, but the actual substance of it. It's to know and be known by the Lord. Growing in that place. Going an inch deep instead of a mile wide. Going a mile deep, right? And an inch wide instead of the other way, a mile. Basically, it's all right here. It's all the love of God. It's not, let's move on. Let's move on. No. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper here. Because in the depth of the knowledge that you know that you were loved, you will be free. And you will receive everything that you were looking for. Right? The image of you, whatever you have glamorized yourself to be or what people want, it seems to be freedom, joy, happiness, fulfillment, some kind of purpose, right? That's the sort of thing that people want. That's what we were made for. But it's not going like a mile wide. It's actually going a mile deep, right? And an inch wide. Instead of the shallow ground and trying to cover more ground. It's actually going deeper into where you already are. Because where you already are, that's where he is. And he's like, no, no, no. Grace is setting the pace. If you were to try to go and do it like they're doing it, I'm not going to support that. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to have you hit a wall. Because you don't know this human being, my child, but it's really not about the destination. It only seems like it's about the destination because you're uncomfortable where you are. And that is okay. The destination is good, but the destination becomes better. It's like the table he prepares for you, right? You become hungry on the journey and you eat at the destination. But in growing hungry on the journey, that's what makes what you eat at the destination so much better. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I couldn't have said it any better myself. That's what makes it better. So he will say, no, we will long in this season. And this will be the pace of that longing. You will not receive it instantaneous. This is not a drive-through, right? It's not going to go through you quickly. I want you to chew on this. I want you to long for this. And in your weakness, I will be the builder. And in your weakness, I will build the man. I will build the woman. And other people, they're going to have the appearance, right? The veneer of like making it, right? They're going to have the appearance, the veneer of a glow up. But they're not going to stay glowed up very long. But you are going to be like an oak of righteousness. Planted. Deep roots, knowing who you are in him because you walked with him at his pace. And he said, you can go and get that, but it's not what you really want. It's not what you were really made for. You were made to know and be known by me. And I set the rhythm of that. I set the pace of that. There's a grace to come into the knowing of that. There's a grace for the magnificent light to come into the darkness, to first show you that you were bound, so then set you free, right? A lot of people don't believe, they don't know, they're not aware that they're in bondage, but they're having symptoms of one that's the symptoms of ones that are in bondage, but they're just looking at disappointments in their life, and it's like the wires aren't like crossed or something. Like they're like, oh, this is the problem, or this is the problem. It's these people, it's this relationship, it's this job. I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled. And they go out and try to find fulfillment, right? But the fulfillment, the happiness, the joy, what you were made for is actually not out there. It's in here. It's deeper. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of where you can go and find it yourself and find knowledge to be the truth. But the one who holds the knowledge about you, knowing him, far greater. You won't be able to convince me otherwise. You just won't. To know the one who loves you is far greater. Far greater. To know the one who has straightened your path so that it's not just this one-time thing where you're like, God, thank you for answering my prayer, but I don't really know you. You know, you just did me a solid, but now I feel like I owe you. I feel like I owe you because I don't know you. I like that. I like that a lot. I feel like I owe you because I don't know you. Those like foxhole prayers. It's fine, but that's the invitation into relationship. He's like, where life is really going to be found is in me. Life is going to be found in me. The abundant life, the fulfillment, the satisfaction. And I will get us to the destination. And at the destination we will eat, but you will know the one who is dining with you. You will not feel like an imposter at the table. You will not feel like someone who is just giving you a bone, right? Scraps underneath the table, crumbs. And he's like, okay, now go and do some more stuff for me so that I can reward you. It's like, no. When you come to know him, you come to know who he really is. When you come to know who he really is, you come to know how he really feels about you. and then you grow in the confidence of how he really feels about you. You become an oak of righteousness. So on this channel, we're going to be like farmers. We're going to grow in patience. Growing impatient sounds like growing in patience. I mean, growing in patience. We're going to be like farmers. Okay. That's what we're going to do. I don't have a quick solution for you. Because it's not about the destination. And trust me, I'm learning that the hard way, okay? It feels like you need to arrive somewhere, but you're not quite there, but things are it's weird. It's a weird thing. But what I'm coming to know and what I'm finding great joy in is the one who was with me in sorrow, the one who was with me in longing, the one who was hungry with me in the wilderness. That's the one I'm going to dine with. That's the one who has prepared the table for me. It's like, well, this just seems like it's all about you. And I'm like, let's just explore it, right? Devil's advocate, sort of thing. It's not this like self-indulgent thing, because that's the kind of the thing. It's like, once you discover who he is, it's who he is. It's not who he is just for you. It's who he is to the world. And now you have this heart for the world. And now when your eyes are open, you're like, you know what, people? You know what, friend? There's a grace for his pace. And I know it may be uncomfortable, but he's really faithful. I want you to know this. I want you to have this. This is how I want to love you. This is probably where I'm going to feel hurt, right? I kind of feel hurt by the world, not because of something that they did to me, but because they don't know what I'm coming to know. So I feel like there's this big heart in me. And I'm like, no. His love is more serious than that. He cares more about your well-being than that. He's not just trying to be your helper. He wants you to know He wants you to know him as the help, as the one who is faithful. He doesn't want to just straighten out your path. He wants to show you that he is the one that straightens out the paths. He wants you to come to know him and why he would do that for you, and why he would want to stay with you and be with you, and how he really feels about you. When you come to know who he is, you won't feel like you owe him when he comes through for you. But it also won't be this entitlement anyway. It won't be an entitled thing. You won't feel like an imposter, but you also won't feel entitled. It won't end up in self-indulgence. I don't believe it will. Because you will become fascinated in the way that you were created. And then you will want others to know of the fascination that you have. He knows me. He knows me like no one else has known me before. And it seems like he's unveiling himself to me ever so slowly, right? And there's a death that comes to this because it's not the pace of the world. It's not quick. Waiting on God is not a quick thing. I feel like the longer you wait, the more he's just working on that foundation, right? But I want to look back at my life and say, you built that. I'm confident now because I didn't build it. I participated. I was a co-laborer, so to speak, but you made that happen. And now I know you made that happen. And so now my life is rich because I know the one that was with me when I couldn't make anything happen for myself. And the people that appeared to have the glow up, the top heavy things fall over quickly. I need coffee, man. But the bottom heavy things, And I feel like the Lord has told me this. He's like, you can be digging for a long time and you don't know that you're just like 2 shovels, dig, shovel, whatever, like hole. What are those fucking 2 like digs? That's not it, but that's what we're going to say. Digs away, right, from hitting gold, right? But people are like, no, they dig over here for like 2 minutes, right? They dig like maybe a 1 foot hole over here, and then they give up and they go do a 1 foot hole over there. And they're trying to cover as much ground as possible, right? And I feel like with the Lord, he's like, no, keep digging where you are. Because where you are is where I am. So when you dig where you are, because of where I am, that's where you're going to find the gold. And it may appear like people are covering more ground and they're closer to whatever it is, but it's, to me, an image, a shadow. It's not actual substance. I think it's what people or what has been portrayed to us as like marriage or something. If you just look at like the context of marriage, like people want something, but they only have the image of what that is, probably something that they've seen on TV or whatever. They get into a marriage and it's probably hard, or it's not what they thought it would be. I think it's because you have to grow in it for it to actually be good. It's not to say that it's just going to be all this tension, but you're going to have to grow together. And that's what it is like with the Lord. It's like a marriage with him, right? Where you grow in love with one another as you go through seasons. Sickness and in health, he was faithful. This is how he was with me in the season of my life. I don't need him like that anymore. But I know he was with me there like that. Now I need him in other ways. But now I know he's for me in certain ways when I couldn't be there for myself, when I couldn't lift my head up. He said, take a nap in the back seat of the car. I'm getting us to where we are, but I'm with you on the journey. I'm with you on the journey. I know you're hungry. They think they're going to eat quicker than you, and they may be appearing to eat, but forget about their lane, because I am the one who knows you, and I set the pace that is best for your life so that you can receive the most from it, so you can have the greatest quality of life. I think if you were to put another like framing on the channel that I have on YouTube or whatever now, is I want people to have a quality of life, a certain quality. There's a certain standard, but the standard is so high that you can't reach it yourself. And actually getting to that standard is realizing that you were weak, that you were made for a higher standard that you can't get yourself to. So you need Papa to lift you up and put you there. You need the Father to lift you up and put you on that standard, right? Because if you try to do it, that's not a very high standard. Because this is not that. This isn't self-effort. This is grace. And grace abounds. And grace is limitless. You only have a certain amount of energy every day, right? And that's the way people think. I mean, when they look into themselves or whatever. I get it. To realize that you can't do it within yourself, that's a very hard truth to know. But people will look at themselves, they have their strength, and they're like, I'm going to use my strength today, and I'm going to get a little bit closer to this thing, right? And maybe they get whatever thing they want. Maybe they get the image of themselves or their life that they wanted it to be. It's always going to be small, though. God makes things bigger. God shows you there's more in you, there's more to you, and there's a quality of life that I have for you that you don't know anything about. But I must set the pace. And there is a grace for my pace for us to go step by step, day by day. And we are getting to a place, but when we arrive, you're going to be confident in the one that was with you on the journey. You're not going to feel like an imposter at the table. You're not going to feel like you owe the Lord. You say, he was with me there. He is with me here. He is faithful. It was his pace. He was the builder in my life. And now I have this quality of life. I am free where others could not free themselves. I don't have the image of success. I am successful. Success that does not depend upon my self-effort. Dude, you're out of like so many conversations, but you're actually in the substance of what success really is, in my opinion. To actually be rich, that is not looking to you the next day to do it again. If you have to do that, how rich really are you? I'm talking about inheritance of wealth, where you don't have to work again, but you're not lazy. You want to go and tell people of the confidence that you've found in God, the one who picked you up, lifted you up, and said, I got places for us to go. But there's going to be a pace to this. There's going to be a rhythm to this. And it may appear like we're taking the scenic route, but this is where you're going to find the richness in the soil. This is where you're going to find it. Because to know and be known by me is the highest thing you can have. And you don't know that until you know it. People are like, I don't want that. They don't want it because they can't conceive of themselves. But it's the things we can't conceive of for ourselves that actually become the most satisfactory. The highest quality of life is probably in the thing you can't see. But people chase after things that they can see because they're looking to themselves to be, right? There is a pace to my life right now. It feels like it's changing, but I'm just observing. I used to look to me to get to places. Now I'm looking to him, but it's a position of stillness that he has put me in, and there's a grace to be still in that. I don't have the energy. It's not in me. I'm not self-motivated in that way to go start building my life anymore. My life has been torn down. I've gone through the grieving part of that, the phase of the old life being torn down. He doesn't just tear things down to leave them bare, though. And he seems to be building something. And now I'm observing him, his faithfulness, step by step, day by day, at the pace that he has decided. And he's like, no. Forget about all that. That's really just the surface of things. Like they have to keep doing that. They have to keep doing that. Like that's what they have to do to maintain that image. But I'm not trying to get you to a place where you maintain an image. I want you set free from all of the images to be truly free in yourself. Sorry, people. That's just going to be the only thing I ever talk about. The love of God, to know and be known by him. The scenic route, right? The way that seems longer. Being a farmer. Reaching for something you can't reach for, and that's the process of him bringing you to a place where you realize you can't reach for the thing that you now desire because he's put a new desire in you. And he's like, I'm the Father. I'm going to lift you up and put you there, right? It's by design that I've given you desires for something you can't reach for in your own strength. It's by design that I have put this longing in you as you have waited on me. Like, it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. It's not the things I can bring to myself. Then what is it? He's like, I made you for a certain quality of life. And we're going to get there. And when we're there, you're not going to just be like a tree with like a really, really tall tree with shallow roots. You're going to be a really, really tall tree with deep roots so that when the storms come, it's not uprooted. No. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for me. That's what I feel like the Lord was like, this is it. This is the richness in the soil. It's in the journey. It's not just something you tell yourself. It's not something you put on a bumper sticker or put on your fridge or whatever. You have to know it. Coming to know it is you got to be on the journey with him. But we will see. It's almost like a comparison. It's not really a flex in me. Maybe it's a boasting in weakness. I want to see for myself that my weakness was enough, that his grace was sufficient in my place of weakness. Because I see people getting things. I see how they're getting things. I'm like, I don't really fit with that. I don't really fit with that. But I don't know where I fit. I don't know really what works for me. And he's like, be still and know that I'm God. My grace is sufficient in your weakness. I'm building this. I'm setting the pace of this. But whenever we get there, you'll be able to actually rest in what I have built. And no man will be able to tear down what I have built because I have built it. Because I have thought of everything, the longevity of your life, everything. And I'm like, it's the best.